I'm taking a look at Vodafone. Vodafone is an absolutely enormous mobile phone telecoms company. And looking through the website here, so offering as usual an enormous range of up-to-the-date modern phones, Samsung, Apple, Galaxy, you know the people out there. And yeah, it's just such a massive business. But things don't seem to be going too well. So let's have a little look. So if we look at the investors page, there's an awful lot on here. I mean, their expansion right across Europe and into Africa. The company's become absolutely enormous since its relatively small beginnings as a division of Racal back in the early 1980s with the merger of Millicom and becoming Vodafone as we know it today in 1985. So over the last pretty well 40 years or so, it has grown into an absolutely enormous business. So on the investors page here, I mean, there's quite a lot of nice videos. Now, Nick Reed, he's the CEO, Chief Executive, who's recently has stepped down in the last few weeks, has fallen on a sword, as one of the papers put it. Things are obviously not quite right. A lot of nice videos here and really promoting themselves very heavily. You can see some of the chief people right across the European operations and further afield, all with very strong positive messages that you expect from a corporate website. But a few weeks now after the announcement of Nick Reed stepping down, there's now the announcement there are about several hundred redundancies going in the head office in Newbury. It's not a good sign, so there's something really not quite right at the moment. Let's have a look at my little graphs and see how they're doing, so if there's any indications there. So the turnover is absolutely enormous compared to many of the companies that I tend to look at. And showing in 2022, there's some profitability there, but we've had a few slack years over the last few. Assets and liabilities, assets are declining a bit. Needs updating the figures there somewhere when next year or the current year's figures come out in full. Capital expenditure, look at the numbers there, they're enormously high. I suppose it's one of the things when you're rolling out 4G operations and 5G, there's an awful lot of infrastructure money that has to go in, so it's a sort of a massive long-term investment with the hope of it's going to pay off at some point. And then they bring out 6G and you start all over again. The free cash flow, again, that stayed relatively consistent. So on Phil Town's 10-cap measure, we've got 53%, which is an absolutely enormous figure. So it's so far over that 10%, it's sort of screaming by. But the market doesn't seem to think that's a good idea. So if we look at Simply Wall Street, they've got the current price 92p, is well under the fair value they've got as £2.20 a share. So it's heavily undervalued. The market is doing so for a reason. There's obviously something else going on beyond the numbers that I'm not aware of, because I don't have a phone from Vodafone, and two, Telecomms isn't necessarily a strong point for me. So I'd really like to see people's comments and ideas and thoughts, and maybe get some idea of really what's going on behind the scenes in Vodafone, because there's an awful lot of shuffling around across Europe in terms of the top bods in each country. So go across to SharePad and let's see if that's got any news and ideas. With the 10-year graph up here, you can see that back in 2014 we were hitting a peak at £3 a share, and it just seems to be on just a gradual downtrend from there. I don't know whether it's a time where companies have a lifespan really, but maybe is the telecoms market declining, or it's met a total I don't know, market saturation in many words. But there's obviously other parts of the world, because they're expanding into Africa and India, and so there's so much more of the globe to take on. But it is a very tough market nowadays. So with the share price sitting there at 80 or 91p today, it's been down there to 80, just under 84p a share. And if that continued downwards, maybe that's why the CEO has had to step down, because the share price and valuation of the business has got so bad. But fundamentally, the sheer volume of asset there, it's enormous. So we'll have a look at the 10% yield. I don't want to be too unfair with this and go for a 15% yield, because that might be a bit dangerous there. But again, that's got a target price of 226 on the 10%. If you're looking at a 15% yield, let's tap that one in. That's coming at 151. So I don't know. I really do look forward to seeing people's comments there. The nice thing in SharePad, you can see the news over the last few months or so. The ones in red are the ones to really watch. So Vodafone Spain CEO resigns. So another one gone. That stepped down as of last Thursday the 12th of January. Sale of Vodafone in Hungary. Acquiring acquisition of stake in the Vodafone Egypt. And Emirates Telecom have raised their stakeholding in Vodafone, but don't plan to take the company over. So, well, if the Arabs think it's a good deal, yeah, it may be a good deal. And there was that news there. The CEO stepped down at the end of the month. So there's a lot of a bit of shake-up going on in Vodafone at the moment. So I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section below, and maybe some of you out there in YouTube land can throw some light on what's really happening behind the scenes in Vodafone. So if there's other companies you'd like me to take a look at, again, do put a comment in the comment section below. Today's video is sponsored by Rule Number 1 by Phil Town. It's a lovely, easy read, and one of the first books I read getting involved in investing. It shows some lovely, easy ways to calculate the true value of a business and work out what sort of price you'd be looking at to buy a business when it's on sale is the ideal time. So you can click on the Amazon link in the description below, and for $8.99 you can get yourself some great easy reading. There's a good way to get started in investing. And clicking on the link also helps support the channel, of course. So if you like the videos, do like, comment and subscribe, and we'll catch up with you again soon.